We're getting some new numbers from Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, who said tonight that 137 Ukrainians have been killed since this uptick in violence began and this larger Russian invasion into sovereign Ukrainian territory. Ukraine is still under martial law at this hour, and the president is urging people not to go to the streets, claiming that Russian saboteurs have actually made their way into the capital and will attempt to disrupt the flow and preparation of forces here as they prepare for the possibility of Russian troops breaching the city.
Putin says he's going after Nazis in Ukraine. He means President Zelensky, who is Jewish, obviously, is not a Nazi.
The Interior Minister announced today more than 10,000 weapons were being handed out to civilians. We're also seeing local media reports tonight indicating that more weapons will be handed out to people in public squares tomorrow. It will not be an easy fight. It will be quite bloody, we understand, because everyone that we have talked to who is staying in Ukraine, they say they will stay and they will fight on behalf of their countries.
Everything, the trains have all stopped. Everybody is hanging around. They're tired. They're scared. They're in these trains, as you can see. Families, pets. It's kind of hard for you to see inside the trains, but
multiple Ukrainian officials have also said that Russian forces have been able to secure the Chernobyl area, and they are also heading toward Kharkiv, which is the biggest city in the east. So these are all large cities. We're talking 450,000 in Mariupol and millions in Kharkiv and Kiev. So, and then there was this report on Russia Today in which Dmitry Peskov, the Kremlin spokesman, said that Putin is ready to discuss terms of surrender with Ukraine, with President Zelensky, but those terms of surrender would be a total capitulation. It would be Ukraine agreeing to be neutral and giving up all of its weapons.
Ukrainians are bracing for continued attacks by Russian forces in what could shape up to be the most significant military action in Europe since World War II. Today, we witness scenes like these unfolding in cities all across Ukraine. People rushing to stock up on groceries, cash, and even weapons to defend their homes. Others hunkered down in subway terminals that now double as bomb shelters, while others waited in long lines at gas stations, desperate to fill up their cars and flee to the western border in the hopes of crossing into the relative safety of neighboring Poland.
A multiple country invasion?
Well, I'm not going to make a prediction of that, but we certainly think he has grander ambitions in Ukraine.
Clarify that same point, does he believe that President Putin wants to reestablish the Soviet Union? Is that what he's saying?
Vladimir Putin said he was confident that he had the support of the Russian people to launch a massive and bloody invasion of Ukraine. Well, here are his people, protesting in the streets of Moscow just today under the threat of arrest. They openly defied Vladimir Putin and demanded peace. They're chanting, "No more war." And this is St. Petersburg, hundreds of miles away. As expected and true to historical pattern, police in riot gear cracked down on the war protesters and dragged demonstrators away in cuffs. A Russian human rights monitor reports the police arrested more than 1,600 protesters across Russia.
He's causing suffering to people around the world.
We need help. We need someone to support us. Ukraine is too small, and the aggressor is too big.
Sono Ucraina e voglio dare, non lo so che cosa, sostegno così, che mia presenza c'è qui, che noi siamo tanti, che lui non riesce.
Oh,
going to go away quietly. And if Putin feels pain in Russia, he's going to try to make us feel pain here.
But for all intents and purposes, we're involved in a war with Putin to try to stop him from doing what he's doing in attacking a sovereign democracy. And for that reason, I think America has to be put on alert that we too will bear some of the consequences of what's happening as a result of what Putin's doing.
The Russians have crossed the border over from Belarus into Ukrainian territory. There was fierce fighting on the ground yesterday in the Chernobyl area with reports that the Russian military has seized the Chernobyl nuclear reactor. We're hearing of reports of another besieged city about 2 hours from where I am now, and that Russian forces are making their way here to Kyiv. So it certainly seems like this invasion is nowhere near slowing down, Lawrence.
Around the world, the Russian offensive is being condemned. The Pentagon tonight saying it'll now deploy 7,000 more US troops to Europe. President Biden met with his national security team this morning and said the world will hold Russia accountable.
Putin is the aggressor. Putin chose this war, and now he and his country will bear the consequences.
But Biden didn't sanction Putin himself, choosing instead new penalties on 4 more Russian banks and some of the country's elite. Putin's claimed he has no intention of occupying Ukraine and warned other countries not to interfere, threatening retaliation the likes of which, quote, you've never experienced in your history.
It's the Kremlin insisting that it has public support, but we are seeing signs that that is not necessarily true. It is, of course, too soon to kind of get a full understanding of where the Russian public will fall on this, but we saw protests break out throughout the country today, including here in Moscow. Now, President Putin did again surface later today, summoning Russia's business elite. You could call these the oligarchs, if you will, to warn them that Western sanctions were indeed coming, but reassure them that he had no other choice. This is the only way, he told his business community, to ensure Russia's security interests after the West had rejected their demands. Shep?
Russian invasion and attack, but it's sad.